Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Your friendly neighborhood coach Pruitt here with you once again with our daily YouTube video over what's going on in class today, and that would be Wednesday and Thursday, February the 10th and 11th of 2021. So you can see on the screen, as always, I have for you guys your daily information, the stuff you would see if you were in the building. It would be on the board. We would talk about these things at the beginning of each class, so we try to do the same thing in the chat. We try to do the same thing to start our daily videos. Your essential question for today: describe the Transcontinental Railroad and its significance to U.S. history. Last time we were together, you guys took the class to do a little bit of asynchronous independent work on the Transcontinental Railroad. Mr. Burrows and I gave you an assignment, the map activity from your Taskwork. We asked you to watch a short 3-minute video about the Transcontinental Railroad and then explore a website about the Transcontinental Railroad and record some information, find some facts, things that you learned or picked up from those sources. So we're going to start the day today by going over very briefly some notes about the Transcontinental Railroad. Again, you have guided notes, you have different ways that you can access the information in the tools and resources page. We'll just point out the most important stuff, the facts that you need to know for, say, the purposes of a test. From there, we're going to talk about Thomas Edison and his inventions and complete a taskwork activity on that. And then we should have the last bit of class to begin working on political cartoons. You can see that we also have some videos that we're going to either watch or ask you guys to watch regarding Thomas Edison. The first 3 are probably going to be highly recommended. The last couple are just for entertainment's sake. Only one announcement that we need to make today, and that is that Monday, the 15th, next Monday, there is no school. Nobody has to come to work. Nobody has to come to school. Nobody has to log into Zoom. So it is a complete and total day off. So we get a full 3-day weekend this week, which is going to be great. The only other announcement, I didn't write it down on your daily intro stuff, but guys, unit number 4, we finished that last week. Taskwork was due on February the 5th by midnight. I am looking at probably about 50 to 60% of our students of our classes, that is all 6 of our classes combined, have not turned in most of, if any, of their task work. We did pretty much all of those assignments in class together. I think the only thing we didn't do in class directly was key terms, and there are lots and lots of folks who haven't given us a single thing. It's Tuesday morning right now when I'm recording this video because I'm going to be out on Wednesday. So as of right now, I haven't put zeros in, but that is going to start happening today. So guys, please turn your task work in. You're almost a week late at this point. Also, there are people who still haven't taken the test, and a good majority of you were in class the day we took the test, or in class the next day when we told you, hey, we took a test last time, you need to go and take it now. So if you haven't finished the test, you need to let us know so that we can get you to the right spot and get it done, because again, those zeros are currently in. So some of you may have seen your average or will see your average plummet. And again, zeros are average and grade killers. So make sure you get that taken care of. As always, if you have questions or concerns, send us a remind message or send us an email. We'll be happy to help you guys out. So what I want to do is just show you guys kind of what's going on today. So remember, like I said, the first thing we're going to do is talk about the Transcontinental Railroad. We're going to just take a couple of notes, maybe not even notes, just hit the highlights and make sure you know what questions or what information you're going to be tested on. Remember that in the Tools and Resources page of Canvas, we have the Google Slides presentations. There's one for the Transcontinental Railroad there. You have your guided notes, which has a section about the Transcontinental Railroad. And then your standard 11 PowerPoint, which again has a section about the Transcontinental Railroad. So that'll be the first probably 5 to 10 minutes of class. Again, we're just hitting the most important information, going over the highlights. The second thing that we are going to do is to talk about Thomas Edison, his inventions and contributions. So we're going to have a taskwork activity for that will go along with our notes and discussion. So if you scroll down to the second section of Canvas in the U.S. History Modules page and click on the Unit Number 5 button, it will take you into the Unit Number 5 module. In that module, we have, of course, all of the task work for Unit Number 5. We looked at this last week when we introed our unit, and so as of right now, we should have completed the map activity. So what we're going to work on now is the Edison Invention Guide. So if you click on the Edison Invention Guide, you can see it has a paperclip, meaning that there is a downloadable version of it. So as always, you can download this to your computer, edit it, type it, highlight it, add to it, whatever you need to do. You are more than capable and more than welcome to create a version of this chart on your own piece of paper, or you can create a version of this chart in a Microsoft Word or Google Doc. You can also just simply copy and paste this into a Microsoft Word or Google Doc. So plenty of options for how you set it up. Mr. Burrows and I do not overly care as long as you have the information that we're going to discuss. So we're going to look at Thomas Edison and 4 of his inventions or contributions. We may add a few more notes to this. There may be some other products like the telephone that we're going to talk about, but it doesn't go with Edison. We'll just add those notes to the bottom here. So Mr. Burrows or I will be leading you guys through direct instruction. We'll be giving you notes. We'll be making sure you know this information. We'll watch a couple videos about Edison as well, just to supplement what we're talking about. So what we want to know is, of Thomas Edison's inventions, what were they? When did they happen? What do they do? And then why are they significant? So the most important part of any of these guys is the why are they significant. What we're noticing sometimes is when we have graphic organizers like this, when we fill in information or take notes, you guys are killing these parts and then you're leaving this part blank. This is arguably the most important part. Anytime we talk about the significance or why it was important, that's the most important part. Obviously, you know what a light bulb does or a light bulb filament. It's never going to be a question on a test when it was invented. The significance is the most important part. Please don't skip those sections, and make sure when we're talking about it and discussing it as notes, pay particularly close attention during that section. So again, we'll finish this Thomas Edison Organizer together with direct instruction and notes. We'll take our notes and just basically fill in the chart. We'll add a couple more about a couple of other inventions that were important at the time as well. And that will be this taskwork activity done. So what we'll do in the back half of class is then begin working on another taskwork activity. We won't finish it today. You may not even hardly get started on it. We'll just kind of see how long discussions of Thomas Edison take. But it is going to be, let me go back to the module so we can see, the political cartoon activity. So you can see, just like up here with the map, there's no attachment. These are the very simple instructions. You're going to create your own political cartoon for big business at the turn of the 20th century. Now, if you go, and I will remind you guys of this at a later date, we're going to have a couple of work days built in. So that's why I'm saying don't stress about this political cartoon today. If we have 15, 20 minutes left of class, we can get started on it. If we only have about 5 minutes left of class after Edison discussions, we won't worry about it today. But we do want to go ahead and assign it. I may record a second video about this later on and go over the instructions again. But we'll start on it today. We'll have a work day this Friday. We'll have a work day probably the next Friday. Or, along the way, there will be several built-in work days where it's just, hey, guys, if you haven't finished your cartoon, make sure you finish your cartoon. If you haven't finished your ABC book, make sure you finish your ABC book, so on and so on. So to get to the instructions for the political cartoon, you're going to need to go to your announcement section. I made a couple of adjustments to this after I posted it to Canvas and to the module. So in the announcements, you can see the Unit 5 political cartoon design. It's very simple. It's very straightforward. Political cartoons are a big deal, and we haven't done one we didn't do one in Unit number 4. We've been doing them in the previous units. Instead of analyzing one this time, we want you to create your own. So you can draw this by hand. You can create it online. You can also, instead of doing a cartoon, do any type of comic strip, any type of collage, any type of artwork, storyboard, whatever the case may be. Okay, so don't think you have to draw by hand a black and white or colored political cartoon. You can certainly do that if you want to, and again, we're not judging you on your artistic ability. So if you think, well, I can't draw, so I'm just not going to do this, don't do that. Some people can draw well. That's awesome. This is a way for you to express your artistic abilities. Some people are really good at designing stuff online. That's why we're giving you multiple options for how you complete this. So you can see we don't want you to just copy and paste an existing cartoon. That's not what we want, okay? That doesn't really help you. and that doesn't show us that you understand the content. You can use things as a reference, but don't just type in political cartoon, progressive era, and then draw whatever or copy the first thing you see. We want you to think about the things that we have discussed so far. And again, you have your ABC book that you can reference for information or ideas, the standards that you can reference for ideas, the guided notes, the PowerPoints. So even if we haven't talked about most of Standard 12 or 13 at all, you can still find things out about it. It doesn't have to be just from the little bit of discussion in class so far. Second thing, again, you can draw this by hand on your own piece of paper. It can be lined or white paper or construction paper, whatever you want. Or you can create a comic strip, a storyboard, a art piece. You can do a collage of some kind. If you don't know what a collage is, it's where you just have like the massive stuff. You can certainly Google, examples of collages, and you'll be able to see it. Collages, not colleges, so make sure you look up the right thing. I've had that happen before. I've got a couple of different websites for you guys here that you could use. These are comic or storyboard creation websites. I think the one I would use is the MakeBeliefsComics.com. I will probably do another video about this just so you guys have it, and I can walk you through how to do it. And then here you can see there are political cartoons, directions, and examples. So if you click there, it will download this document. We're going to look at that real quick just so I can show you some examples. Now again, we don't want you to just copy some kind of online example. We want you guys to create your own. So here are some examples of previous ones. Mr. Burroughs is here. That's awesome. He came in playing music this morning. I don't know if you guys heard him. So we've got the big business cartoon here. You can see, and again, this is one that's drawn by hand, so that's a way that you could do it. We have another one drawn by hand. This one was colored and pretty full, and I liked it. But it's, big business is eating all of these little tiny fish that are different parts of American society. We have, there's going to be a section where we talk about child labor and changes to child labor in this unit. And this person drew a cartoon. And basically, this is big business killing children because that happened, unfortunately, a lot with accidents and whatnot from injuries of workers. And then this is one I made. This is the MakeBeliefsComics.com. So you can see this guy wearing a suit. He's supposed to represent big business in front of the U.S. government. And they're talking about the Transcontinental Railroad, which we just discussed. And then it's kind of like the Lord Farquaad meme where he's like, some of you may die, but it's a sacrifice we're willing to make. And then these are supposed to represent all of the workers on the Transcontinental Railroad that passed away and lost their lives. Again, we'll make another video that's a little more in-depth about this. But if you have time to get started on this in class on Wednesday or Thursday, we wanted you to have kind of a general idea of what we want you to do. Again, you can draw your cartoon by hand. You can design something online, and we've given you several different options for that. So just to wrap up and make sure everybody knows what's up, today in class, Wednesday and Thursday, 10th and 11th of 2021 in February, we are going to do three things. We're going to cover the Transcontinental Railroad and do bullet-pointed MVP, most important things you need to know, notes. Probably will take 5 to 10 minutes. We will talk about Thomas Edison, his inventions and contributions, a little bit of other technology as well, and fill in the Taskwork /graphic organizer for Edison Inventions. If there's time, we will take the back portion of class, or however much time it remains, to begin working on your political cartoons. Friday is a even Friday, so that will be a work day for even classes. We will, of course, probably have another Friday where we can build in some time for odd classes to have a work day. And then remember that Monday, the 15th, we are out of school and nobody has to come to school or to work. We love you guys. We'll see you next time.